Now we're going to build the content that goes inside of the navigation element. Now typically people use unordered lists to create menus because there's a built-in hierarchy in HTML in the way that we define and nest bullet lists or numbered lists. So in this case, we'll have an outer UL, which will be the outermost unordered list. We'll have individual list items inside of there. And then when we put an unordered list inside of a list item, this is going to be one of our submenus. And we're going to put 3 levels of menus inside of this navigation element, which means for a 3rd level menu, that will be inside of an LI, which is inside of another UL, which is inside of an LI, which is inside of another UL. So to build out this content, let's go back to our HTML file. Let's find our nav element. Let's split this open. And in the top level, we're going to add a UL tag here. Let a few returns. We'll end that unordered list. Inside of here, we're going to add an LI. We'll end that element as well. Let's split this open. And then inside of the list items, we're going to put our anchor links. So we'll start with an A tag. First, we'll set a title attribute equals 2 quotes. The title is going to be about us. Then a space. At our href, we'll point to a £, and the anchor tag, and the element. And then let's come in here and let's select the About Us title attribute, and we'll paste it inside of here. So now we have our first link here. I'm going to scroll up. Let's come in here and select the entire list item. Let's hit a return. Let's paste it on the next line. Let's change About Us to Design Corner. Let's copy this. Let's paste that as the link to label. Now we'll select that. We'll paste it again. We'll name the 3rd one Products. Then we'll select that. Paste that as the link label. And then we'll paste this one more time, and we'll call the last one Contact Us. And then select that and paste that as the link label. With that in place, you can save your work, go back to the browser, hit reload. At the bottom of the page, we'll see our top level navigation items in an unordered list. Now let's go back to our HTML. Now we're going to add a nested unordered list inside of one of these items. So first we'll go inside of About Us. So after the anchor tag, make sure we're before the ending list item. Let's add another unordered list tag. Hit a few lines. We'll end that element. Inside of there, we're going to add a list item. Hit a few lines. End the list item element. And then inside of here, we're going to add another anchor tag. So I'll just come up here and copy this one. Let's paste that down here. And for the sublinks, we'll just call these sublink 1, 2, and 3. So I'll just name this sublink 1. Paste that in as the label. Then we'll select that list item, paste it again. We'll call this one sublink 2. And same for the label. So now that we have a nested unordered list, let's come in here and select the entire nested unordered list here inside of About Us. Let's scroll down. After the link for Design Corner, let's hit a return. Let's paste that here. And then we'll do the same thing for Products. Hit a return and paste that here. So with those in place, if you go back to the browser and hit reload, you'll now see that we have nested unordered lists inside of here. Now let's go back to our HTML. Let's add another nested unordered list inside of one of these items. So first I'll come in here and select the sublink 2 inside of Design Corner. We'll call this sublink 3. And then inside of sublink 3, let's select and copy one of the nested unordered lists. Let's get our cursor after the anchor tag for sublink 3. And then let's paste all of these inside of here. And we'll call these sublink. So sublink 1, sublink 2, and we'll do the same thing for the labels. With that in place, save your work. Let's go back to the browser, hit reload, and now we can see we have 3 levels of unordered lists in our navigation element. So now with this in place, we'll add a little bit of content to our footer next, and then we can start working on the CSS.